If you're not good, then you will be eliminated by natural selection in most cases. There are still some who are,
What about
thriving.
you, Siddhant? What were your assumptions about?
I will not try to be relevant and just do unnecessary things to just be in the limelight.
Everything was just perfect to say a big yes to all the factors.
I went to a profile and I was like, she's very pretty.
This is Nawaz Kochra joining you on Indian Express, and I'm in the company of two very amazing actors. We have with us the team of Yudhra, Siddhant Chaturvedi and Malvika Mohanan. Hello guys, how are you all?
Hi.
I must say we are missing a few people from the team actually.
Yes.
But yeah.
I was watching the trailer. I was re-watching it in fact today, and first time when I saw it, I was a little, scared and intimidated that, oh my God, what is going to happen? I want to know from y'all that, what was it about this film that y'all wanted to be a part of this?
Wow.
For me, it was the makers and the team as a whole,
Okay.
which also includes Siddhant before he says co-actor also. It was a team.
Okay.
It was also the story. I mean, you're seeing the action. You're seeing everything you just mentioned, all of that paraphernalia. But at the heart of it, there's a beautiful story of two people, their friendship, their love, and their journey.
Yes.
And that's something that really called out to me when I heard the story for the first time. And it was being made by XL, who have made some amazing films.
Right.
They're such amazing makers. And Ravi sir, a director, I loved Mom. I think he has I've watched so many of his ads, so his general sense of aesthetic, the way he approaches things.
Right.
Siddhant was, fantastic. I mean, at that point, only Gully Boy was out, right?
Yeah.
You hadn't had any other release, and he was amazing and so promising. So everything was just perfect to say a big yes to. So all the factors.
What was it for you?
For me, it was again, all these same things, the makers, the story, the gravity of the characters. Not only my character, but every character has.
You can't say me because I wasn't a part of it when he.
No, wait, shut up. It was a very initial stage, and
I know, that's what I say.
we wouldn't have gone ahead without you. So, thank you. And I so knew that it was hard for any other, actress to kind of say yes so soon, because this was right 2 months after Gully Boy, so everybody else, would still kind of figuring. And then I'd seen a film because Aishan's a dear friend, so I'd seen a film. She's a fabulous actress. And then I went to a profile, and I was like, she's very pretty. Okay then. So yeah, I was very excited to have her on board, everything, the whole package of it, and to get to do something really which pushes me and makes me evolve as an actor is also one of the most important things I feel. So, yeah.
Like you said that things that make you evolve as an actor, with every film choice that you're making, Siddharth, we see that Siddharth is making a choice that shows that evolution of him as an actor. It was Gully Boy, Gehraiyan, Kho Gaye Hum Kahan, and now this is another, out and out action space. So is that a conscious effort to, choose roles that, show your versatility and also you in a very different light?
Yeah, in a way. The thing is, I can't repeat myself.
Okay.
I get bored. If I had to do the same thing again and again, then I would have might as well done CA. Done an office job. The point of being an actor is to be able to do everything, right? So for me, it's always exciting to choose something. And after that, this as well, there's Dhadak 2, which is again absolutely in a very different world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I keep trying to push that. I want to do things which are new and different and exciting always. And I think that's what excites audiences as well, because the content is, I think, the king. It will always be the king. So I just want to push the bar a little more every time with my choices and with the cinema.
I want to know from the two of y'all that when y'all were about to enter into the film industry or make a mark get in front of the cameras, what was your perception about this world? Were there any assumptions about the industry y'all had, and when y'all actually became actors, to what extent were those assumptions met?
I would say that from an outsider's perspective, and as a child who's grown up watching Hindi films and Bollywood, and I say Bollywood specifically because Bollywood is an emotion. You know? Hindi film industry is the correct terminology. We think about, you're always kind of lured by the glamour part of things, the fame and the films and the songs and but then you start working and that's when you kind of, think about the acting part of it. So you're sold on everything else. But, while growing up, obviously, but then, so like cracking yourself as an actor, learning more about yourself, being more self-aware, figuring out what method works for you, what doesn't, that's been quite a journey.
Right.
So the idea of it, and what I'm trying to say is that the idea of it and the real thing are like two very different things,
Okay.
So that's one aspect that that you figure out once you start.
So the assumptions are very different from what...
Exactly. What it looks like is very different from what the job actually entails.
Absolutely.
And you have to be a good actor to sustain in the long run. It's survival of the fittest, right? If you're not good, then you will be eliminated by natural selection in most cases. There are still some who are,
What about
thriving.
you, Siddhant? What were your assumptions about...
Wow. Yes.
There are a few bad actors as well.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah, what was your assumption about this industry and to what extent did it match?
My assumption about the industry as in how it functions inside...
So, from an outsider's perspective, who's not yet entered into the industry, वो एक glamour part होता है that we all are very fascinated with the industry, but once you enter inside, you feel like, probably, this is not how it looked like. So there are certain assumptions we have which change probably. Was there a situation like this for you?
For me, it was the other way around. I was always fascinated by the performances and the craft of it.
Okay.
And the making people happy part of it. When I used to watch Salman sir doing O Jaane Jana, when Shah Rukh sir romancing, and making you feel things, or when Hrithik sir used to dance and all of that. It just made me feel like happy, And I realized that when I entered the industry, it is exactly the same what I thought. Because the glamour never actually took hold of me any time. I was always fascinated by that 3 hours, this is what it is. I never thought ki yaar, when Hamisha I used to take back home the feeling, of the emotion rather than, what he's good looking, yaar, kya body hai, या क्या ये किया नहीं मुझे मतलब मज़ा आया यार इससे मुझे खुश किया that thing कि मैंने पैसा वसूल हो गया बहुत क्या हाँ ये होना चाहिए and I realized that when I entered the industry I realized it's the same thing. It is the craft, it is the thing, and that's what it is. And the other things which the glamour part of it वो हो जाती है अपने आप. जब आपको पर्दे पे प्रेजेंट करना है तो there's a camera in front of you, there's a cinematographer, there is a art department, there are 100 people working, the stylist, everything is so in check that you don't have to think about that. You just have to think about what you're gonna do, and then you just be yourself, and then you just look good, or you just make people happy, rather than just being like ये मेरा ठीक नहीं है, because then you want people to connect, because there are like 100 people who are gonna sit and watch you, and they know if you're gonna lie to them. So you need to be happy, and you being happy will make people happy, or you being sad will make it. It just translates right away, I feel, and that translation is still today it's as pure as it was when I was back then, because I could feel. Until today, I used to watch Shah Rukh sir, and I met Shah Rukh sir last night. I was, at the IFA press con. It is the same thing. There is nothing, no difference. I can still see him, and he makes me feel happy still. Or he makes me feel like, oh my God, there's this, he's my hero. When I meet Salman sir, I feel like I burst out crying, because I was like, he is the guy he is. Right. And there are 100 things which happen around them, with the cars and the paps and the fans and everything. But for me, the person that person is now is what it motivates me, rather than the things around that person. Right. Those things are not in your control anyway. So, yeah.
But also being an outsider at times, how do you relate to your contemporaries? Especially when I say this, I mean that star kids are always, they've seen this atmosphere, they've seen this life around. Yeah. So how do you relate to your contemporaries in that case?
How do I relate? No, you learn.
Okay.
I don't think you relate so much, but you learn. You learn a lot, and they learn a lot from because we've been there sitting outside, so they learn a lot and they are all very receptive, and so should we be. Very receptive, because this ultimately you have to kind of come hand in hand and grow as an industry, and ultimately the audience is going to choose, again, as she said, it's a natural selection, survival of the fittest, and that fit will not be on the basis of who's coming from outside or inside. Ultimately, I think you have to be learn from them, but there's so many things that they know from the inside, and there's so many things that we know. So it's a good exchange which should keep happening, because ultimately after a while, okay, we can say that right now, but what if in the next 20 years you become one, right?
Absolutely.
So what are you fighting against? You are, in a way, kind of aspiring to be that, right? In a way. And you will become, even if you don't aspire to become that, you will become, and people will not relate to you because you're like, okay, your life is different now. You're surrounded by like 10 bodyguards and 100 people around you. So you need to, I think that acceptance is what it is. And till the time this keeps happening, this little barrier in between, I think it's not gonna benefit anybody, and it just creates unnecessary things which keep coming out, I feel.
True. Also, Malvika, a lot of actors that I have met have told me that this is the best time to be around, as an actor. For you, how was it getting into Bollywood at this time where, pan-India culture is coming? There are no lines, no barriers, nothing. It's a very open industry. The industry is receptive to everybody. What was it like for you to, come at this point in time into the industry? Like, I'm purely talking about Bollywood here.
I love the fact that what you just touched upon, that the boundaries between industries have really kind of gone down quite a bit, So, and especially as a female actor, you can hop around and work with, like, there's no, you can work everywhere, which is great. You can work with all the makers, all the actors that you like, whose work you like. You can work with a Mani Ratnam one day, a Rajamouli one day, like given the chance, obviously. So I think it's great that the Hindi film industry is also, like Telugu, Tamil, like Malayalam, all the films kind of have a pan-India audience at the moment. I think it's fantastic. You can work anywhere and know that your work is going to reach people everywhere. Language no bar. That's great. And as a female actress, that pressure is a little lesser because we're not shouldering the business aspect of a film. You can, and I'm doing that. Like I just had a Tamil release with Vikram, so I'm working on my first Telugu project, which is with Prabhas.
The horror comedy, Rajasthan.
The horror romantic comedy is what they're calling it. they have termed it. So that's Telugu, and Yudhra is Hindi. So I'm loving the mix personally.
Absolutely. I have to say congratulations on Thangaalan.
Thank you.
It's made 100 crores. Ghee mein, literally. Lastly, I want to know from both of you all that as actors today, is there ever a fear that of being relevant or being out there? Does that fear ever bother you?
Not for me.
Yeah,
I would always, I mean, for both, I think both of us, as much as I know her, it's for me, I would rate rare more than relevant. Be rare, don't be relevant.
Absolutely.
That's what my saying I believe in. I will not, try to be relevant and just do unnecessary things to just be in the limelight. I'd just rather not do anything, wait it out, have 6 months to myself, travel. There's so many things as actors we get empty na after working back to back. So 3-4 महीने घूम फिर के यहाँ वहाँ दुनिया देख के कुछ नया स्किल सीख के वापस आके अपने आप को थोड़ा सा फिल करके then you have so much more to give, because you're not creating moments, you're creating a legacy, I feel. At least what I believe in. So for that, it will take a lot of effort, and you need to be very authentic to the craft you're in. And to be authentic, you have to disconnect from the industry for some time, and you have to kind of have your own time and work on things so that you can always surprise and give back to the audience more and more and more. So the surprise factor will never go out of business, I feel. People can be relevant, but I mean, you see, like, there are people who are like relevant and only talked about for 2-3 weeks, and then somebody else comes and somebody else comes, and there's so many gimmicks which happen on social media and Instagram.
I agree with what he's saying. It's very easy to be seasonal. You can do, like, you can pull the stunt, or you can do some PR gimmick, and maybe that will get you like a seasonal popularity. But to to do the work that you want to do and be the lambi race ka ghoda, I feel the best thing to do is you have to be real. And real is the most relatable thing, you know, because for how long can you put up a facade? You can't do that, right? You can only be yourself and hope that people like you and that people like your work. And if they don't, that's too bad.
You know what the most beautiful thing is? People now can tell. You cannot hide your, you know, once this thing, even if you try to kind of, you know, portray a thing, people call out. After a point, they kind of get to know because the cameras everywhere you go, and there are some gestures which you'll do, and there'll be a circle karke, this gesture was done because he was a toxic or she was a toxic red flag. This behavioral studies ke pages hai, jahan pe people are talking and passing the glass here and there, and people are believing that. So I'm like, just be real. Do not think. अगर वो race में घुसना है ना, वो कोई never-ending race ही नहीं है. Al Pacino had said, the day there'll come a day when everybody will be famous, and hence nobody will be famous. So that is what it is.
That's what's happening now.
Exactly.
And I think that's the best quote to end the interview also with. And you know, I don't want to end this conversation because it's going so well, but we are running short on time. So thank you so much, for removing time and doing this with us, and wish you all the very best for Yudhra.
Thank you so much. Thank you.